Thank you for serving your community as prospective jurors today. My name is Anita Josey-Herring, and I'm the Chief Judge of the Superior Court of the District of Columbia. Under our Constitution, everyone deserves a fair trial. Therefore, it's the court's goal in every jury trial to find jurors who will decide the case before them fairly, without prejudice or bias. So today I'd like to talk with you about what bias is and why we should all keep biases out of the courtroom. Biases are prejudices that a person has in favor of or against a thing, a person, or group. Biases can cause people to prejudge in a positive or negative way without truly considering evidence or facts. It's proven that most biases happen at an unconscious level. In fact, researchers have found that unconscious bias is a part of how we all process information. It's important as jurors to be aware that unconscious bias exists. Once you understand what it is, we'll explore what you can do to stop the effects of unconscious bias while serving on a jury. That will help you make decisions based on facts and evidence while also treating everyone fairly.
Most people in the United States believe it is wrong to judge others based on their age, race, gender, other identities, or personal traits. Yet, studies have shown that we often react unconsciously to these differences when we make decisions, and that we are unaware of what is taking place. Understanding this possibility is an important first step to prevent it from affecting the decisions that we make as judges and jurors. We know that our minds use shortcuts to make efficient decisions every day. But some of these shortcuts, the ones rooted in unconscious biases, can have negative consequences and lead us to judge people and circumstances unfairly.
Earlier in this video, we all saw the Chief Judge. The truth is that each of us immediately prejudged what type of person she is, even though we don't know her or have any additional information about her. Instinctively, you might have felt that she is smart, impartial, patient, open-minded, or in charge. Or you may have decided that she is powerful, impatient, tough, or scary. And when you look at this biker, you may immediately feel that he is either an adventurous free spirit or maybe a rebel who's mean, abrasive, or even dangerous. Because of unconscious bias, our minds take mental shortcuts and make quick decisions we're not aware of so that we can feel comfortable, safe, and confident. But if we stop to consciously think about it, we might decide that our initial judgments don't fit with the information we're being presented and with what we know is fair. Considering all the information we have, instead of judging or making a decision based on information that comes to mind most quickly, can help us avoid relying on our preconceptions.
In one research study, science faculty looking to hire a lab manager reviewed the same resume. Some copies were assigned a name that traditionally belongs to a man, and others a name that traditionally belongs to a woman. It turns out that both men and women reviewing the resumes were more likely to conclude that the candidate they thought was a man was more competent and worthy of being hired than the candidate they thought was a woman, even though the resumes were exactly the same. Their assumptions that men as a group are better at science can lead to flawed and unfair assessments of individuals. In this example, unconscious bias influenced what the reviewers did without them even realizing it. Understanding that this kind of bias can happen is the first step in preventing similar kinds of unconscious bias from impacting your decision-making during trial.
For many people, it's hard to accept they are susceptible to unconscious bias because they're unaware of it, and their bias may be about something they consciously view in a very different way. But now that you know everyone has unconscious bias, stereotypes or attitudes based on things like age, race, and gender, you can look for those biases in yourself. This will give you a better chance of preventing it from affecting your judgment and decisions as a juror. In fact, other jurors have said that once they were made aware of unconscious bias, they were able to check in with themselves during the trial and notice if it was a part of their decision-making process.
First, simply recognize that unconscious bias exists and that it occurs for us all. Studies have shown that this step alone helps prevent it. Second, examine your decisions and judgments as jurors carefully. Third, question your decisions by asking whether they would be different if the witness, lawyer, or person on trial were of a different race, age, gender, or other identity. Don't hesitate to ask yourself about unconscious bias throughout the trial, and at the end, during the jury's deliberations, if you think unconscious bias has influenced your thinking, I encourage you to think about the evidence again and to discuss it with your fellow jurors.
Thank you for taking the time to consider this issue. You're about to become a part of the most important tradition in our justice system, the right to a trial by jury. Thank you for your service and for your effort to ensure that everyone receives a fair trial.